More shots, more corners, more total touches in the opponent's box, and more XG. Kilmarnock pretty much had everything more than Celtic today, except for what really matters, and that, of course, is goals. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, here for the Kilmarnock Celtic match review. And just shout out to Derek McInnes and Kilmarnock. A really great performance for their team today, but unfortunately wasn't enough to get a result. Should have been enough, probably deserved at least a draw from the game, but did not get that. And another shout out to Kasper Schmeichel, who has had a lot of, he's had a lot of stick, and not because he's been bad, but because a lot of people say he's had nothing to do, and people say that he's had it easy and he's had to do absolutely nothing. Well, today he was tested and he pulled off great save after great save after great save, and he showed today why he is the best goalkeeper in the league. Not because he keeps a lot of clean sheets and because he has nothing to do, but he showed that when he does have stuff to do, he can step up and he can make the important saves. Probably the toughest game that Kasper Schmeichel has had in a Celtic shirt, outside of the Dortmund match, and we all know how that went, but definitely the most we've seen Kasper Schmeichel be tested. And I think that goes to show you just how good Kilmarnock were today, because this was a tougher game for Schmeichel. He had more big saves to make in this game than he did against Atlanta and than he did against RB Leipzig. So again, great performance for Schmeichel, but also shows you just how good Kilmarnock were. And they get labelled this physical team. Sometimes they get labelled a team that don't play good football and they just rely on their success through a plastic pitch. But it was a really good performance today, and I think they shot all those rumours down. But in the end, it was Celtic that got the win. I've heard people say it was moments of quality from Celtic that got the victory today. I disagree with that. Opening goal, it was very fortunate. It's a cross for Callum McGregor, and it goes into the back of the net. It's lucky. It is what it is. I'm not going to lie here just so people don't get upset. It was a very lucky goal. McGregor did not take a shot. He didn't mean for that to go in. Ida attempted to get something on it. He got nothing on it. The ball trickled in to the back of the net. That gave Celtic the lead. But we'll talk about the opening of the game, because Kilmarnock, that must have been like a hammer blow going into half-time 1-0 down, because they did not deserve it. But Celtic actually had the first chance of the game. Dyson Maeda cross into Ida, and he really should score. For me, Ida, why is he playing over Kyogo? I'm just not convinced. I don't know why he would do this. I'm assuming because it is Kilmarnock, and Brendan Rodgers believes that Ida will do better against, the physicality of the Kilmarnock team. But for me, I start Kyogo every day. If Kyogo's fit, then for me, he starts over Ida. Ida should do better here. Really bad connection, and he doesn't. Then the Nadaba picked up the ball, had a really good run, got past a few Celtic players, hit a shot at Schmeichel. Schmeichel made his first really good save of the game. Celtic managed to clear it. We then had Brad Lyons picked out Vassell with an amazing ball. He just cut this ball through the Celtic defence. Great diagonal ball through the air. Fantastic. But Vassell puts it back into Watson. Watson fired it over. And yeah, should do a lot better, should hit the target, should test Schmeichel. Then we had a Callum McGregor shot after a short set piece. McGregor forcing McCrory into a good save. And McCrory also had a good game. But at the end of the day, he conceded too, and Schmeichel didn't. So for me, Schmeichel man of the match here for sure. Then probably the best bit of play from Kilmarnock. We had great interplay. It was Vassell and to Liam Donnelly. Then he played through Watkins, and this really did cut apart the Celtic defence here. And it was a great opportunity for Watkins to score, and he dinks over Schmeichel, and it hits the post. I mean, great play for Kilmarnock, but they should have scored here. Best chance for me of the match. We then got another shot from Vassell. It was a swivel. He swivels his body, turns around, gets the shot off. It was blocked to Trusty. Trusty putting his body on the line. Kilmarnock at this point definitely should have probably had the lead at this point. At least they did not deserve, at the absolute most, they didn't deserve to be behind at half-time. But that's what happens, because Callum McGregor hits a cross into the box, and Ida attempts to get on it. McCrory, I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's assuming that the ball is going wide, and it goes into the back post. it goes into the back of the net via the back post. So very disappointing that Kilmarnock went in 1-0 at half time, didn't deserve to be losing at that point. Then again, they started the second half strong. Cameron forced an early save from Schmichel. Then a cross came in towards Brad Lyons. It forced another save of Schmichel. So, I mean, we were getting lots of good saves here from Schmichel. Lots of good saves, close range saves as well. McCrory, though, also pulled off a nice stop in the second half after a nice 1-2 with Kuhn and Ida. Kuhn played it to Ida. Ida, again, laid it off towards Kuhn into the middle of the box. And this was a really good save from McCrory. You expect Kuhn to score, especially the form that he's been on, the quality he's been shown lately. I expected Kuhn to put this in the back of the net. Did not happen. So it's still 1-0. Kilmarnock still in the game. And then we get McGregor. McGregor loses the ball. Kennedy steps in. He puts a tackle on Callum McGregor. Wins it. Charges into the box. Hits another good shot. But he's met again by another good save from Kasper Schmeichel. And I mean, Schmeichel, he did really make today at least 4 or 5 really good saves to stop Kilmarnock. So fair play to him. And then Celtic get the second with Johnston over the top ball to Kuhn on the right-hand side. And for me, it's good for Kuhn. It's a really good finish. It's a good run. But the defence has to do better. I think it is... Was it a combination of Lyons and Dia? I think it may have been. I cannot remember who it was, but the defending here for Kilmarnock just was not good enough in my eyes, and it killed the game. This seen the game off. Kilmarnock were right up in the game up until this moment, but you know, when Celtic get this late goal with about 15 minutes to go, that for me, that put an end to it, and that made sure that Celtic were going to get the 3 points. We then got a Hatate tackle that got a yellow card. It was checked by VAR. Normally, when someone gets checked by VAR, the decision on the pitch is going to change. This decision did not change. It looked worse than it was. It was high, but there was no real force behind it. So I can see why it wasn't given, but I can also see why people were saying it was a red. Honestly, based on how football is refereed these days, I thought they were going to give it a red, but I don't necessarily think there was enough force behind it. It almost looks like Hatate is trying to pull out of the tackle before he makes contact as well, so maybe the referee factored that in. I've heard a lot of people say it's a red. I've heard a lot of people say it's a yellow, so I mean, I guess it's just one of those tackles that is going to cause a debate for weeks, well, maybe not weeks, but days now before we get into the international break. And Kyogo had another chance late on. He saved it from McCrory. And the game finished Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 2. But when you look at the stats, I mean, Kilmarnock very unfortunate today. 18 shots to Celtic's 10, so almost double the amount of shots. You look at the touches in the opponent's box. Kilmarnock had 36 to Celtic's 22, so I mean close to double again in total touches in the box. Goalkeeper saves at 6-4. Celtic had to make more saves, and I gave Schmeichel a lot of credit. Kilmarnock had more corners than Celtic, so I mean it was probably Kilmarnock's best performance of the season. Kilmarnock played better today than they played against Rangers, but maybe that's just a sign, you know, that is probably a sign that Celtic are so far ahead of Rangers, because Kilmarnock, when they played Rangers, I mean, they were all right, but they weren't great and they still got the win. Yet Kilmarnock played great today and it wasn't enough. So, if anything, I think that kind of shows the difference in quality between maybe Celtic and Rangers, that you have Kilmarnock play so good today and still get beat, and then you have Rangers. Kilmarnock, in my opinion, didn't play that good, but got a 1-0 win, you know. So it is what it is. Celtic get the win, and they go back top of the table. Just what they needed, I'm sure, before the international break. Brendan Rodgers did speak about the match, though, and he said that had this game been a year ago, it might have been a game that Celtic would have lost. Now, I think that was Brendan Rodgers' way of trying to give Kilmarnock credit. I get it. He's not the Kilmarnock manager. He's a Celtic manager. He's not going to come out and say we could have lost this game today. So he's trying to say it in other words. But I mean, it was a really good performance for Kilmarnock. Rodgers came out and said He told Sports Sound, quote, "Obviously, we had to deal with a lot of pressure and direct balls and deal with a lot of duels, but to keep a clean sheet and work that hard, especially after midweek, then show moments of quality to get goals, I'm very proud of this team. They play a pressure game and we had to be strong and aggressive and show our spirit, and to get the 3 points is very pleasing. A year ago, that result would maybe have gone the other way, but that was a real test of some different qualities, but we came through it, so it shows the team is in a good place. Nicholas Kuhn is growing and developing. He is disappointed with the one he missed, but his run, touch and finish were sublime. Adding numbers to his game is one of the things we talked about, and it's a testament to him that he's done that." End of quote. So, I mean, Rodgers admitting that it was a close game, and I know people are not going to like it because I'm giving Kilmarnock credit, and you're not supposed to do that. People just want you to bow down and pretend that Celtic are great and deserve to win every single game. But, I mean, newsflash, I don't think they did deserve to win the day. I think a draw certainly would have been fairer on Kilmarnock, but, you know, people with the green tinted specs will never be able to admit that or see that. So, it is what it is. And Celtic top of the table. Aberdeen, I think, would have been hoping today that Killie could have done them a favour. It wasn't to be. And we go into the international break with Celtic and Aberdeen both on 31 points. 10 wins apiece and 1 draw between them. So, I mean, pretty much perfection from both teams. But the worrying thing for Aberdeen is Celtic have got 28 plus in the goal difference department, which is 14 more than Aberdeen. So they've got double the amount of goal difference than than their nearest rivals or championship rivals do. And then if you look further down, Celtic have plus 28, Rangers have plus 8. Celtic have got more than 20 goals. 20 goals. 20 plus goals than Rangers. And there's only 11 games played. That's amazing. That just shows you the gap, man, between both teams. It's fucking mental how far, one is ahead of the other. But anyway, that's it. Kilmarnock, unfortunate today. Celtic, not at their best, but still got the win. That's what champions do. And now, international break time. Speaking of not being at your best and winning, I don't care how Scotland play. We just need wins. We need victories. We need Steve Clarke to get 2 wins out of 2 in these final 2 Nations League games. And hopefully we can claw enough points on the board to survive and not get relegated into Group B. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.